What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Cozy here, coming at you with another deck tech video, and this one I gotta tell you is super special, near and dear to my heart, because for one, we're gonna be celebrating over 100 subscribers on the channel, and in honor of that 100 subs, first and foremost, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and keeping up with my antics here at this point, right? But I wanted to share something that I wanted to play near and dear to me, which is EB02 Green Purple Luffy. I think this deck it has a different taste to it, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really playing One Piece on this deck, and it's unique, it's different. I think it's super cool the way that it plays and everything like that. So I wanted to share this deck list not only to celebrate the 100 subs, but more importantly to get us ready for EB02, as it is near and right around the corner for the United States. And so we're going to go over the 2Ks that I'm going to run in my list, followed by the characters. Then we're going to go into the events and stages that I run in this. So please stay tuned. Make sure to like this video if you enjoy EB02. Subscribe to the channel if you like these deck techs. And ring that notification bell so every time I upload on Sundays and Wednesdays, you see the deck and the gameplay behind the deck itself. And without further ado, we're going to hop into our 2Ks. All right, guys, like I said, we're going to be hopping straight into looking at the 2Ks, and I got to tell you, I think I run a lot of 2Ks in this list, but it's worth it. Like, to be a 6K body leader and give out a 2K, you're getting over 7K swings super easy in the mid to late game with this deck. But without further ado, I do want to express that I do run 4 of the Frenoskes. I think this is just a very solid 2K, especially in this list. You can put a Dawn under it to give it rush if you really need a 5-drop rush character to really end the game if you want to go that route. But mostly for me, I personally just use him as a 2K, maybe 9 out of 10 times if I run into it. The unsung hero of this 2K list right now is definitely the 6-drop Sanji. I feel with the Sanji, especially because we're going to have lower Dawn count than our opponent, this thing comes out for 3 Dawn. It's a 6K blocker, so we can definitely start surviving some of that mid to late game pressure that a lot of other decks do like to push on this particular leader. But even still, if we don't use him as a blocker, he's still a really great 2K to play. And to really get out of those 7K swings, especially with us being a 6K body, it's going to be something that you kind of have to play around with. If it was up to me, I would use less of the Frenoske as a body and aim more for using Sanji in that particular case, just because A, it can be a 6K swing on its own. B, it's a blocker, so you have a little bit more defense, because blocker is definitely better than 2K in my opinion. But at the end of the day, these are still just really good 2Ks to run. And then last but not least, my favorite 2K in this particular list is 4 of that Uso Hachi that came out in starter deck number 19, I believe, or 16. It was one of those. It was the purple Luffy starter deck that it came out in. This thing is a game ender, end all be all. Any blocker that's a 5 cost or less, as long as we have the Dawn for it, right, is going to be rested, and that's going to allow us to really push with our bodies to really close out the game, especially with that secret Luffy that we're going to be talking about here later in probably like a few more minutes, right? But don't tell nobody that it's the secret Luffy, because that's a secret. So I feel with this list, we are running 12 2Ks. 12 2Ks is a very strong line to run. I think it's still pretty good. I like this 2K list personally. I think you could make some changes here and there, but you need to have at least 12 2Ks. I'd probably say more than 12 is a little excessive. Maybe 10 to 12 2Ks in this list would be fine. For me, I like to play a little bit more defensive with this list and really set my board up before I start pushing for game. So having those additional 2Ks is going to give me that opportunity to, survive an extra turn, survive an extra attack, and really just push for that success when we do our crackback and we swing with 1 or 2 secret Luffys that are swinging 10k apiece. So with the 2Ks out of the way, now we can start going into our bodies here. And I got to tell you, this character list, pretty good. It's pretty good. You know we got to run it. You know we got them 4 Nami searchers from EB02. Basically with it, you look at the top 5, you grab a Straw Hat Crew type card. It's basically the red Nami, but for green, which is really, really cool to have, especially if you run Christmas Luffy. Side tangent here. Christmas Luffy can run both the red and the green Nami, so you have 8 valid search targets, and you're filtering through, what is that, 8 times 5? That's pretty much the whole deck at that point to find any pieces that you need or to reorganize anything like that. So Nami, pretty good card in this list. I only personally run 2 of the blocker Nico Robin from EB02. On KO, it's going to be a Dawn -1 effect. You look at the top 3 cards, and you put a Straw Hat card from that into your hand. You put the rest in the bottom. So another searching target, another search option. But that blocker is very, very key to have. And it's an on KO effect. So you can just block, search, grab another piece. Next turn, really set up for the 5 Dawn turn, which is what we want to aim for. The other 3-cost character that I run is going to be the 3-drop Frankie that allows me to, on play or when attacking, my leader has a Straw Hat Crew type, and the number of Dawn I have is equal to or less than. I basically just get to ramp 1 rested Dawn. Mr. Frankie here is a very solid pick to have. I think if you wanted to, you could move these over to the Robin, but having that extra, like on play 3, boom, if I have less Dawn than you, I'm definitely going to be ramping. Or when I'm attacking, especially in the later stages of the game, you put 1 Dawn under Frankie, swing, get arrested Dawn, use that for leader effect to buff yourself and restand that Dawn and remanipulate it. So that's going to be something to really, really start playing intricate-wise that you want to aim for, because you could go, I'm going to attack with the Frankie with 1 Dawn under him. I'm going to get arrested Dawn. Use leader effect. Detach the rested or the attached Dawn and the rested Dawn that Frankie got you. Buff our leader. And then restand the Dawn if I'm not mistaken. Dawn -2 if you only have characters that have Straw Hat. 2 of your Dawn. And boom. So you basically get to manipulate the Dawn that we do have in this particular instance. So I think the Frankie is a very viable strategy. I like the Frankie in this list. I'm still playtesting it to see how it works. But overall, I think it's pretty good. Now we're getting into the mid game, the mid card of this fight. The first thing I would like to highlight is in EB02, there is a brand new Zoro that comes out. So you have 2 or more. If your opponent has 2 or more characters than you, then this character can attack other characters on the turn that it's played. And then its on play is if our leader is Straw Hat, we rest a 4-cost or less. So this is going to be a really good board breaker, a board clearer, because we're going to be able to rest like a blocker or rest a pesky 4-cost that is giving us some issues. We can just clear it with a 5k body, or on our 5 Dawn turn, it's a 6k. So it's going to force additional counter. The other 4-cost we run is the Zoro Juro. This is going to be another searching target, so we do run at least 8 searchers in this with the 1-cost Nami and the 4-cost Zoro now, so we will have some additional pressure. It searches, and now it's a viable attacker next turn with that 6k stat line. Then last but not least, in our mid-game, we're going to be setting everything up. It is going to be that 5-cost Sanji and Pudding that this deck lives and breathes by. I cannot stress enough that this list, you need 2 Sanji Puddings on board to really make it a viable strategy going into the late game, especially because it allows you to ramp a Dawn, allowing Luffy to restand 2 more Dawn to give him the effect. And really what that is going to set up is you make leader effect free at that point with 2 Sanji Pudding on board, because what you would do is you would send 2 rested Dawn, back to the Dawn deck. Sanji Pudding is going to ramp to Dawn. Your leader is then going to restand to Dawn, get 6k. So we essentially restand for 4. And if you guys know, with my red-green smoker, you know I love turning Dawn right back up and extending those plays. And just this list is nuts when it does stuff like this. When it works, this deck, best deck in format. When it works. But the way we have it set up, we are hyper consistent in finding those Sanji Puddings. And we're really going to be driving home pretty much our top end, which is 4 of those secret Luffys that I was talking about earlier. Man, this thing is super strong. So like if we were to take a look at this particular Luffy, if our leader is multicolored and your opponent has 5 or more Dawn, this character gains Rush. And then when attacking, we can put 2 of our active Dawn back to the Dawn deck and then turn this character active, then add 1 card from the top of our life to our hand. So essentially, what we want to aim for is having 1 or 2 of these Luffys in play, right? Because essentially this is a 4 Dawn kind of play, especially if you've been ramping with, you know, our favorite Sanji Pudding. It allows us to really manipulate and use the Sanji Pudding to fuel our Monkey D. Luffy plays. So essentially what you want to do is you want to attach Dawn to Luffy. Play whatever you want to play. Swing with Luffy first. Using leader effect to restand to Dawn, right? Using then Luffy to send that Dawn back. Utilizing Sanji Pudding to ramp that 2 Dawn back. Restand this Luffy, restand this Luffy. Now you're swinging a 9-7-7. That's 3 swings that essentially your opponent may or may not be able to counter out of. And this is how you end your game with the secret Luffy. Next, we're going to be moving to events. The first one, of course, is another search event. This is the when you're at sea, you fight pirates event. This allows you to look at the top 3, look for a Straw Hat, Kid Pirate, or a Heart Pirate. In our case, it's going to be a Straw Hat Pirate. So now with the Zoro Juro, with the Nami, with this event, we run 10 searchers to find the Sanji Pudding, to find the secret Luffy, and you want to find this card. Best purple card in the game. 4 copies of Gum Gum Giant. What can I say? The deck, or the card itself, is just too darn good, right? And if you're not running Gum Gum Giant in a purple Straw Hat leader, I don't think you're necessarily running the game right, because this card is absolutely meta defining by itself. Dawn -2, trash 1 card from your hand, gives you plus 4k. So if we have leader effect active, we have a 10k body that we essentially can counter out of. So we're easily counting out a 9. That's even before we draw from the Gum Gum Giant, which we draw 2 from, and we can add additional counter. So if they're going to swing out, swing 15, we go Gum Gum Giant to 10, draw 2, hopefully have 3 2Ks because we run a lot of 2Ks in this list, and counter to 16, and what are they going to do? There's not much they can do at that point, and they've used up all their Dawn. They could try swinging out with more bodies at that point, but if we're a 6k lead and they're dumping 15 on their leader to swing, odds are they probably don't have additional bodies to swing out. In the case that people do decide to swing out, we do have 4 copies of Electrical Luna. That is going to be our saving grace when it comes to how are we going to protect ourselves from a huge crackback. So like the go wide strategy, Zoro. Zoro is the exact example of this working to its finest. Yeah, we can survive these hits. We'll take a little bit of damage, but their entire board is now sideways. Drop a Luna. Because now anything that's 7 cost or less is not restanding. So then we can now go back and swing into their board as we develop ours. And then they're going to have to either spend Dawn and spend resources to get rid of stuff on their board to replace it, which does the job for us anyway, because now they can't swing and they got rid of some bodies. Or they just let them sit there, we develop a board, and then we break their board from there. And then last but not least, I run 4 stages in this. I might cut this down to 3, but I think 4 is okay, because on play it allows you to draw a card, especially if our leader is Straw Hat type crew, which it is. But it also allows us to rest the stage, and if the number of Dawn cards that we have is equal to or less than our opponent's, it gives one of our Straw Hat crew type characters +2 in cost. So this is a very good anti-black strategy, especially if we have one Sanji Pudding in play. You would ideally rest your stage, give Sanji Pudding +2 cost, so now it's a 7 cost character. They now have to work a little bit harder, especially with Ice Age now being no longer viable to play because it's banned. So that allows you to at least protect the Sanji and Pudding from black. Black will still find a way to KO it, but now it requires more resources and it allows you to really keep up your tempo. But this is the list that I will most likely be running in the EB02 meta. There may be some variations here and there, but if there are, I will be more than happy to add an updated list to the channel. But that's going to do it for me on this particular episode. Let me know what you guys think about it by commenting down below. Are you guys excited for EB02? Do you wish the OP10 meta would last a little bit longer? Let me know down in the comments for that. But if you did support this video, 1, make sure you like it if you found this content to be enjoyable or educational or both. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these types of deck tech videos where I go a little bit more in depth and I explain a little bit more. And more importantly, just ring that notification bell so that way you don't miss the next upload coming on Sundays and on Wednesdays. But with that, that's going to do it for me on this one. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and peace and love, y'all. Bye.